Hi, my name is Leah. Welcome. I'm a yoga instructor and I specialize in Kundalini, hormonal and prenatal yoga. Today I prepared a class for you that is perfect if you are already pregnant and want to connect more deeply with your baby and prepare your body for this ever-changing time and for labor. And if you want to become pregnant and want to attract a spirit baby, this is also going to help because it deepens your intuition and helps you make this connection to the spirit baby that might be waiting out there for you to just open up for it to come to earth. So let's start and practice together. A few notes before we get started. Do make sure that you're comfortable. You can sit cross-legged on the floor if that's still available to you. You may also use a chair and do all the sitting poses on a chair. That is perfectly fine. You can use pillows to prop yourself up so that you're feeling comfortable. You can lean on a wall if that makes some of the exercises more comfortable and accessible to you. Feel free to just take a break if you need it, go to the bathroom or go for a glass of water. Your comfort and your well-being is most important in this class, so really make sure that you listen to what your body needs in every moment. So that being said, I think we can get started. And we will use a mantra to open the class. It's called the Adi mantra, and it uses the words Om Namo, Gurudev Namo, which means as much as I bow to the teacher within me, or I welcome the universal wisdom, I tune into that wisdom. And we open all Khalsa Way classes this way. And I will demonstrate. We do it 3 times. I will demonstrate, and you may listen the first time and the 2 next times you can follow along. So we rub our hands to warm them up. We have so many nerve endings in our hands, and this is like a message to our body that we will get started with our practice. And then once your palms are warm, you can take your hands onto your sternum and roll up your shoulders, let them glide down so that your shoulders are relaxed, and then sit long and tall and take a deep inhale and exhale, and then let's chant Om Namo. Take another inhale. Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Let this sink in. And then let your hands gently sink to your legs, and just make sure that you're still seated comfortably, and please adjust your seat if there's anything that feels more comfortable. And we'll start with the heart lotus kriya, which again we place our hands in front of our hearts, and inhaling we bring our hands up and open up just like a lotus opens its petals. Then, inhaling again, we put our palms to the outside and we gently push our arms backwards so that the shoulders glide together, and we create a lot of room here in our heart. And then exhaling, we bring the palms together once again. And we keep going, inhaling, arms up, exhaling, opening up this lotus, inhaling, opening the heart, and exhaling, coming back to your heart. Inhaling, feeling the lotus flower blossom, your heart open, and making connection with your heart 2 more times. Inhaling, opening, exhaling, coming into full bloom. Inhaling, opening the heart, and exhaling, hands to your heart. Wonderful, you're doing great. Now release your hands, adjust your seat if needed, and then start rolling your shoulders. This helps to open up the upper back, the shoulders, here the chest where we often store a lot of tension. And now with a baby in your womb, you have a lot of weight to carry in your spine, and this can create all sorts of tensions that we can release with these simple movements. Maybe now pulling one shoulder up, then the other. And let's do a few more shoulder rolls here. Notice how the tension releases, how you're creating space in the upper chest, in your shoulder area. And then you can slowly release. Take a breath here. And from here we come into butterfly pose, and you put both of your feet together and let your knees drop to the side. And then you just make sure that your feet are in a distance to your body so that you have enough space to accommodate your belly. And then you can start flapping your knees just like a butterfly would flap its wings. And enjoy this movement. Feel how you're creating space here in the hips, in the pelvic area, how you're warming up your legs, particularly here, the inner thighs. And our inner thighs don't often get a lot of attention, so that can feel really soothing. You can also place your hands on your belly if that feels more comfortable. Check in with your baby. And let's do a few more flaps. And then release. Maybe put your legs in front of you and shake them out just for a little moment. And then we come into cross-legged position. Remember, if this does not feel comfortable sitting here on the floor, you can always do this on a chair. So you just sit on a chair, and instead of grabbing your shin or your knees, you would just put your hands on your thighs. So just make sure that you're always comfortable. And then if you are indeed seated on the floor, grab your shins or your knees, and then with your next inhale, you start bringing your heart forward, and And exhaling, you round your back gently. And we're doing here a gentle, conscious movement. Inhaling, opening our chest, our heart. Exhaling, rounding our back. This movement helps to warm up the spine. And if our spine is flexible, then our energy can circulate more freely from the lower chakras up to the higher chakras. And if you are not interested in the chakra system, or you don't believe in things like that, just imagine that there are spinal nerves going through your entire spine, and if they are more flexible, if they have room to move, then the communication between your brain and the rest of your body can work more smoothly. Okay, let's do one more. And then come to center for a moment. Maybe checking in with your belly, with your baby. Feeling how your child reacts to this movement. And if you are trying to call in a baby, just imagine how you're creating a space in your body that is really welcoming to a child. And so with the next inhale, you lift up your left arm and you still open your heart up. And then exhaling, you drop your hand. Inhaling, other side. Exhaling, drop. Still a slight rounding of your spine when you're coming down. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, down. One more each side. And then let's continue this series by inhaling and bringing both our arms up. Exhaling, rounding down. Two more. Take a little break here. Come to center, tall spine. Hugging your baby into your spine. When we hug our baby in, just imagine that you're pulling it in towards your spine. That helps to remove tension and pressure from your lower spine. So when we hug our baby in, it's a gentle movement, but it helps to bring the curve of the spine into the perfect shape. And then you can place your hands on both sides and bring your legs forwards and maybe shake them out just for a moment. And actually I'm going to just switch over here for a second so that you can see my entire body. If you don't feel comfortable sitting on the floor like this, you can always use a blanket and elevate yourself slightly, or even use pillows. Okay, and then here you can start circling your ankles. This really helps if you have swollen ankles or if you're sore or tender. It helps to increase your range of motion, and if there is lymph, or if you just have a lot of water in your legs, then this will help to give you some relief. And then point one foot and flex the other. Change from one side to the other. Yes. You're doing great. Okay, nice. Shake out your legs, and then you can separate them slightly. Keep your hands to your side like this. And then with your next inhale, you lift your left leg. Exhaling, you let it sink to the ground. Inhaling, right leg. Exhaling, let it come down again. Pointing your feet here. Try to stretch your legs, but if that does not feel comfortable, you can have a slight bend in your knees. That is totally fine. You come up with your knees and with your legs as much as feels good to you, depending on how big your belly is. There might not be much room to move, or you could also open up your legs a little wider and lift them up like this. Perfect. Okay. Great. I'm going to switch over here again so that you can see me. And actually just place my blanket here. You see, I'm always using props and moving them from one place to the other. And that is really something that is always really important in yoga, not only in pregnancy, but especially in pregnancy, because it just gives you the support you need. So please take your props and move them from one place to the other. And maybe your body changes during one lesson, so please adapt, okay? So then you open your legs wide and inhaling, you stretch up. Exhaling, you bend over your left leg. Inhaling, you come up. Exhaling, down to the middle. Inhaling, bend over your right leg. You keep going like that. Inhaling up, exhaling middle. Inhaling up, exhaling left. You're doing great. Feel how this helps you stretch out your entire body. Stretch up and then come back to the left. Stretch up one more time and then we come down with our arms. And then you take your left foot and place it on the inside of your right thigh. And then you can place your right arm here on your shin, on your thigh. Just if you're placing it on your knee, then just make sure you're not putting pressure on it. So I prefer you place it here on your thigh. And then you bring your left arm towards your right toes, and then inhaling, you open up to your back. Exhaling. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling, coming back, center. And notice how the twist happens mostly here in the upper spine, in the shoulder area, and not so much in the belly, because we want to make sure that we are staying flexible in the shoulder chest area, but we don't want to create tension across our belly. So adjust in any way that feels good to you. Come back as much as feels good. One more. Okay, maybe shake out your shoulders just for a second. And then you place your left hand close to your right thigh and make sure that your right leg is on your mat. And then inhaling, you press your hip up, and exhaling, you come down. Inhaling, pressing up your hip. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, pressing up your hip. down. Perfect. That strengthens your hips, your pelvic area, and it warms up the entire body. You're also working with your abdominals without actually doing crunches or anything here. One more. And then we come back here. Bring your legs to the middle, shake them out. And then switch to the other side. Left leg comes into the diagonal here. Right foot on the inside of your thigh. And then place your hand on your thigh, on your shin. Inhaling. Move towards your toes. Exhaling, opening up here in the chest. Enjoy how much space you're creating here in your upper body. Two more. You're doing fantastic. Okay, now check again that your foot is on your mat, and then placing your right hand below your right shoulder, and then inhaling, pushing your hips up, exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, pressing up, exhaling down. You're doing really good. If you don't have a double mat like me, make sure that your knee is also on your mat so that you're not hurting it. You can also place a blanket or a pillow below your knee to make sure it stays comfortable. And then we come down. Shake out your legs. And take a second to breathe here. Come into a comfortable seated pose. Maybe closing your eyes for a second here. Placing a hand on the heart, the other on the belly, checking in how your body is reacting to this, how your baby is reacting to this, to the movement, to the space you're creating. Closing your eyes, going within, and if you're calling in the spirit baby, make sure to just connect with your body. And so this way, sending out the message that you're ready, that your body is ready to receive the blessing of a baby. 2 more breaths. Enjoying this connection with your baby. And from here we come to all fours. So you place your hands below your shoulders, your knees below your hips. And here as well, if you need extra padding, just place a pillow or a blanket below your knees. And then from here, you take your left leg back, and then you lift your foot and place it on the outside of your right foot so that you're getting a stretch on the side body. Taking nice long breaths here. Yes, you're doing great. Perfect. With your next inhale, you can lift your left leg up and bring it back down, coming back into the middle neutral pose. Remember to hug your baby in here, slightly towards your spine. That helps to take pressure off here on the lower back. And then place your right foot back. Inhaling, lift your leg. Exhaling, place your foot on the outside of your left foot. Enjoying a side stretch here. Inhale, bring your leg up, and exhaling, come back to center. Then, with your next inhale, you're bringing back your left leg once again. Right arm stretches into the front, hugging your belly towards your spine. And if you have any issues with balance, just place down your right arm and just balance your left leg. That is working perfectly. And it really helps to strengthen your abdominals, your core muscles, without doing any crunches, because we don't do crunches in pregnancy. We don't want to create any contractions that way. Keep your arms up. Keep your arm up if that is available to you. Inhale here, one more breath. And exhaling, coming down, back to center, maybe swaying your hip from one side to the other, always making sure that we're not building up tension. Yeah, great. And then we bring back the right leg and lift it up so that the leg is parallel to the ground, foot is flexed. And if you lift it up the right arm, we do the same now here with the left arm, hugging in baby. Yeah, you're doing fantastic. This is such a good strengthener of the entire core of your, it helps to increase your balance. And it just creates all over body strength, particularly the back body that is working here. One more inhale and then exhaling, coming down to all fours. And then here you can open up your knees and then let your body flow back and come into a child's pose here. And if it doesn't feel comfortable to put your head down, or if your belly is really big, you can use all sorts of, perhaps you could use a pillow or a block with a blanket, and then just place your head on top, maybe your hands as an additional pillow. Just make sure that you're really comfortable. And then once you have really been able to find your position, you really sink down, you let go. Long deep breaths here. You keep remaining in baby pose, and I will guide you through a little pelvic floor awareness exercise. So just check in with your tailbone, mentally guide your awareness there, feel the bony area there. And then check in with your belly button and perceive the area here on the belly button. And imagine that you're drawing an invisible line from your tailbone to your belly button. So you have a diagonal going from front down to your back. And then just keeping those two points in mind, you start pulling your belly button slightly in and down towards the tailbone, and the tailbone slightly up towards the belly button, and then energetically those 2 points meet in the middle. And make sure that this is a very gentle movement. It's even more energetic than it's actually physical, so it's very subtle. And if you could do like this movement with 100% effort, make sure you're only doing 50%. Okay, so while you're exhaling, you pull those 2 points towards each other, and then inhaling, you fully relax. Let's do 2 more times. Inhaling, still staying relaxed, and then exhaling, pulling those 2 points slightly towards each other. Inhaling, relax, and then exhaling last time, pulling those 2 points together. Great. And then inhaling, relaxing. Taking 2 more deep breaths here. Yeah, wonderful. And then from baby pose, you can come back to all fours and then start to wiggle and move your hips in big circles. And this movement is very personal, and just check in what feels good. If you want to also involve the shoulders and come down in the front, if maybe you want to do a figure 8 here, just make sure you're checking in with what feels good to you in this moment. And if you come back to this practice, the next time it might look very different from today, because our body keeps changing and our needs keep changing as well. This is also kind of like taking your baby on a ride and having fun, you with your little baby. So it helps to release tension, it helps you connect with your body, creates flexibility in the pelvis, in the hips. Yeah, you're doing perfect. And then coming back to neutral pose for a moment. And then bringing your right leg back, parallel to the floor. And then you step your leg to the front. And if you can't move it all the way to your hand, just help it slightly move forward and place it on the outside of your right hand. Then from here you start to do one-sided hip circles. So this really goes deep into the hips and creates a lot of range of movement here, mobility. And always make sure you're doing these movements really gently. In pregnancy, we have this wonderful hormone called relaxin that helps to open up and loosen up the joints, which is wonderful because it helps to create space for birth. But we can also really easily overdo it, so always make sure you're aware, checking in with your body, what feels good, what feels like too much. Okay, switch direction here, circles the other way around. Yeah, great. Couple more. Okay. And then bringing your leg back once again. Maybe just come into a rock pose here. Shaking out your hands just for a moment. Taking off pressure off your wrists. Maybe circling them around just for a moment. Okay. And now placing your wrists once again below your shoulder, bringing your left leg back And inhaling here, and then exhaling, bringing your leg all the way to the front. Maybe it comes down a little bit before your arm, and then you just kind of take a few little steps towards your hand. Leg or foot is outside of your left hand, and then you start doing hip circles here on this side here. Yeah, creating so much space here in your pelvic area, in your hips. And we store so much tension in our hips, and just this movement can help to release tension, emotion that is stored in this area. So if you already are pregnant, this helps you just prepare for a smooth birth. And if you're wanting to call in a baby, releasing the tension here may actually make it easier for a baby to arrive. If you haven't already, change the direction of your hip circles. Do a few more on this side. Okay, and then bringing the leg back one more time. Okay, and then we come into rock pose. Seated on our heels here. If this does not feel comfortable, place a pillow here or elevate with a few blocks so that you are not sitting directly on your heels here. And open your legs so that you have room for your belly. And then with your next inhale, we lift up and bring our arms up to the sky. Exhaling, coming down. This helps to warm up the entire body, create strength in our thighs. You're doing great, and this stretching just feels so good for your body that is changing so much in this moment, or in these moments, in these 9 months. Two more. Coming down for rock pose for just a moment, checking in with baby. Can you feel how it reacts to your movement? Is there any change? Is it maybe moving more? Maybe it just fell asleep because it feels like it's cradled into sleep. So just make sure to check in with how your body reacts to the movement, how your baby feels. And then from here, we come into all fours one more time. And from here, we're placing our toes onto the mat, hands underneath our shoulders, and then we rock back our body and bring our booty upwards. Legs remain bent here, and with little steps you come towards your hands, and then make sure that your weight is on your feet, and then you can release your hands from the floor and maybe gently sway from one side to the other. Sway back into the middle, and then as if in slow motion, coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. Perfect. Last come shoulders, neck, and head. Maybe up here. Maybe up here you want to rock or roll your shoulders, shoulder rock and roll. Yeah, you can roll your shoulders here just for a bit. And then come into mountain pose, standing. Our standing pose, and maybe lift up your toes for a second and spreading them wide and then placing them back on the floor, and then check in with your feet, because our balance is ever changing in pregnancy. The way we stand changes all the time, and just make sure that you're distributing your weight on all four corners on your feet, so big toe, small toe, both sides of your heel. Yes, perfect. And then you can take your hands and place your thumbs on your sternum here. Roll up your shoulders and let them glide down, and then just perceive how your sternum is slightly moving towards the sky. This helps to be really elevated here and having a tall spine, hugging baby slightly in towards your spine to take off pressure of lower spine. Okay, great. And then I'm going to come here to the side. You can stay where you are, and then place one hand on your tailbone and the other on your belly. And then just start a slight pelvic rock, moving the tailbone out and then towards the pubic bone, and then the pubic bone goes towards the tailbone, moving from one side to the other, rocking your pelvis, rocking your baby here. Yeah, great. Having knees slightly bent, never locking the knees completely so that the muscles are holding us up and not the joints. Doing this a couple more times. And then maybe trying to find the place in between, like this very curvy spine and the very, very flat spine, finding a place in between. Paying attention once more how we're putting our weight onto our feet. Lifting sternum up, shoulders relaxed. Great. And then from here, you can come into a stance wider than hip width and place your hands on your thighs. And then you're coming down slightly and then exhaling. Once again, you're rounding your back and then inhaling. We're creating a flatter curve here. Exhaling, round. Inhaling, slightly arching the spine. Always making sure that we're not just completely dropping our lower spine, but we're gently holding it up, gently pulling baby towards the spine. Yes, perfect. One more. And then from here, you can roll up. And then we're placing the left foot in front and take a step back with the right foot. And the right foot back here is in an angle. It's about a 45-degree angle, and the left foot is pointing straight forward. And then we bend our front knee and make sure that you're having a bit of space between the 2 feet. So you can imagine that you're on train tracks here, and your left leg is on one side of the track and your right leg is on the other side of the track. And if you have a mat that shows you the middle line, so your left leg is on the left side of the line, right leg is on the right side of the line. Okay. And then you're pulling your fingers to the pads of your palms here. and both thumbs point upwards, and then you're pulling your right arm back. And you're creating this motion as if you were going to shoot a bow. So creating this tension here, or rather than tension, it's actually strength that we're creating. Two more breaths here. And then with your next inhale, you're straightening or almost straightening your front leg. Slight bend remains here in your knee. We're never locking in our knee completely to prevent injury. So inhaling, straightening up to a very small bend, and then exhaling, coming down again. You look towards your thumb in front of you. You can also focus your gaze on a point on the wall in front of you. Maybe you have a beautiful window to look out, or a beautiful painting that you can just lock your gaze on. Two more. And then inhaling here once again. Exhaling, dropping your arms. And then just pointing both feet to the front and coming back to the middle, just for a moment. And from here, we're placing our right foot in front of us and the left foot back. Again, on train tracks here, left foot is here in a diagonal. Right foot is pointing straight forward. Right leg is bent. And then we're pulling our bow, thumbs pointing up. Your gaze is going forward. Yes, wonderful. This position helps to create so much strength, and it's really grounding. It helps you connect with Mother Earth. Your feet are really connected firmly with the earth. Your legs are really working hard here. One more breath. And then inhaling, slightly straightening our legs, not locking the knee though. Exhaling, coming down again into the bent knee. One more. And then you can release your arms, both legs pointing to the front, and then bring your feet together, a zigzag step. Okay, maybe shaking out your legs here. And then the next exercise that we're gonna do is the Khalsa Way squats. They're very particular to this line of yoga, and we're doing them, and we like to do them in every single class because they help to strengthen the entire body. They're strengthening and lengthening your entire body, and they're creating a lot of motion or range of motion and mobility in hip and pelvic area. So they are perfect for as you come closer to birth. There are two, there's the full version and there's the modification. And you want to do the modified version if you are past the 34th week and your baby is in breech, or if you have any sort of knee issue or otherwise can't fully come down into full squat. in that case, you're going to do the modified version. In any other case, you can do the full version with me. I'm going to demonstrate, so maybe watch me, watch this video for 1 or 2 rounds, and then you just keep doing it with me. Okay, first thing we do is rolling up our mats a bit. And this is really important, don't skip this part, because when we elevate our heels here, we have more range of motions here in our hips, and we really want to like take advantage of that. So don't just do them like standing flat on the floor, do them with the mat rolled up a bit. I could even roll it like slightly more, yeah, like this. Okay, and then if you do the modified version, you're inhaling your arms up, and then exhaling, you're drawing your hands towards your heart and come down slightly with your tush here. Place your hands on your thighs, and then exhaling, you're rounding your back, rolling up again, and then bring your arms up here. Okay, that's the modified version. The full version goes like this. Inhaling, bring your arms up, and then exhaling, bring your hands down, and then coming all the way down, placing your hands in front of you, and then lifting your tush up, letting your head drop down for a moment, and then from here rolling up vertebra by vertebra, and then when you're almost up, pulling your arms up to the sky, exhaling, coming down to your heart again. Okay, that is 1. Let's do 9 more of these. Pick the version that is right for you, and let's get going. Take the time you need. Inhaling up, exhaling, coming down to the floor. You're doing great. Just do this at your own pace. Just enjoy this movement and feel how strengthening and lengthening is good both for you and your baby. I always have a hard time at keeping account, so I think I did 6 by now. I'm going to do 3 more. This is also helping to create a little bit of heat in the body. And I'm going to do my last one here. You can always pause the video and do these in your own pace. Then coming back into Tadasana, you can roll out your mat again, taking your hands onto your heart for a second. Hip width stance, shoulders relax. Maybe you want to close your eyes here, but only if your balance is okay. Otherwise, just like gentle gaze, feeling your heartbeat, your breath. That might be going a little faster now because we created heat in the system. And then from here, coming down to the floor in any way that feels good to you. You can inhale, bring our arms up, And then folding, bending our knees, placing our hands in front of us, stepping back, and then dropping our knees here. Maybe making sure that knees are wide and just dropping into child's pose for a moment. Taking a moment of rest here. Releasing shoulders, releasing upper back. Making sure you're comfortable. And taking 2 more breaths here. Long, conscious breathing. Feeling how your breath goes down to your baby, to your pelvic organs. Noticing how much more you're now able to perceive your body. And with the next inhale, you can gently roll up and then transition into a seated pose that feels good to you on a chair, in cross-legged or any other version. And then we're going to do one more exercise that is really typical for Khalsa Way. It's called the keep ups, and it's exactly what we're going to do. For 3 minutes, we're going to keep our arms up. And this might not sound so much fun, but what we're doing is we're creating this knowing that even if situations get hard, we can keep at it and we can make it through. And then after the 3 minutes, we're going to feel so much better and we're going to know how strong we are. And this is something that really, really helps us in birth, because there we're also going to be put into contractions that feel really uncomfortable, maybe painful, and we know that we can ride a difficult wave for 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes your contraction is over, and afterwards you're going to be even stronger. So let's do this. And I put a timer here, so we're going to do this exactly for 3 minutes. You just put both of your arms to your side, and then you start flapping your arms here. And do this a pace that feels good to you, not too fast, but also not too slow. Moving up and down about a couple of inches. Maybe if you are in Europe, it's about 10 centimeters, maybe up and down. And flapping our arms. And it might look silly, and you might feel a bit weird doing this, but know that it really helps. It puts you in touch with your inner strength, with your inner warrior. And as women, we need both. We need to be able to go into the softness, into gentleness, into receiving, but we also need to have this fierce act. We need to have access to this fierce energy, and this is one way of really getting a glimpse of this. Just keep going, flapping your arms. I'm doing it with you. Yes. And know that many, many women, every woman who is preparing for birth with Khalsa Way is also doing this, and know that you're creating so much strength, you're creating so much like inner fierceness, and this is going to help you in life later on, in all sorts of situations. Childbirth, yes, but also sometimes we just need to push through to make it to the other end, and this is one way of practicing this in a safe way. Make sure that you're not creating tension in your shoulders. These arm exercises actually also really strengthen our nervous system, because we're keeping at it, and our nervous system learns this way of how much we're capable. So we're going only for about 30 more seconds. You're almost through. Perfect. Yeah. Just keep going, flapping as if it were really easy. Make up, it's really easy. Tell yourself, I can do this. Yeah. Just 15 more seconds. Flapping your arms. Maybe you're feeling sore, but know that you can keep at anything for 15 seconds, right? So 7 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And inhaling, pulling your arms away or your hands away from each other. And then exhaling, letting your arms go. And then doing gentle shoulder rolls here. Yeah, maybe the other way around. And then maybe dropping your left ear towards your left shoulder. Inhaling, coming back to the middle, dropping your right ear to the right shoulder. Maybe you want to close your eyes for a moment here, placing hand on belly on your heart, and just taking a moment to perceive all the sensations of this keep up exercise. And then gift yourself with your most beautiful smile and know that you just did so much to increase your inner strength. One more long conscious breath. And then you can release your hands, maybe shake out your legs, and choosing a seated position. Once again, that is comfortable for you. You might want to pick a different one than before. You might want to pick exactly the same one. I'm going to go into rock pose, supported rock pose with 2 blocks. So I'm using 2 blocks and placing a blanket on top. So I'm really quite elevated here. I have almost like a little stool here to sit on. And I just noticed it's actually too high, so I'm only going to use 1 block here. Okay. Once you're in a comfortable seat, we're gonna do our meditation now. And this is the Smiling Buddha Kriya. And we're working with a mudra. A mudra is a certain position of our hands that stimulates a certain energy in the body. It is kind of related to acupuncture that you probably know from Chinese medicine. And if we pressure certain points on our hands or on our body, we can trigger a certain reaction or a certain state of being. So here we're going to fold in the 2 fingers, the pinky finger and the ring finger, and then place our thumb on top of it, and then middle and pointer finger point straight up. You do this on both sides. Fingers are together here. Thumb on pinky and ring finger. And then, let me show you. We don't have our hands straight up to the sky, but like in a about 30-degree angle here, pointing forward and up in a diagonal. So it would look like this. And make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. And then you can close your eyes. And your focus goes in between your eyebrows. In yoga, this is called the 3rd eye point. And it is believed that this is the point where we can tune into our intuition, and this will really help to get you into an elevated state of being or of consciousness, of maybe being able to perceive more deeply what it is that you need, what your baby needs. So pointing your arms up in a diagonal, closed eyes, focus on your third eye point, long deep breathing here. And then once you have settled into this position, we integrate a mantra into a mantra. These are sacred syllables that help to just create even more momentum of the movement. So they're just helping to like increase the action that we're creating with the mudra and the body position, the hand position. And the mantra is Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. So Sa means infinity, Ta means life, Na means death, and Ma means rebirth. Sa, infinity, Ta, life, Na, death, and Ma, rebirth. And you just close your eyes and you just chant this silently. So repeat this in your mind without actually speaking it out loud. I will say it for you a few times and then you can just keep going at your own pace. And if you're really visual, you can imagine that these syllables are actually coming out straight of your third eye point. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Keeping your eyes closed, gentle, slow breathing. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Gonna whisper it a couple more times. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Now repeat it silently in your mind. One last round of mantra. Then taking a deep inhale and exhale, releasing your hands, keeping your eyes closed for a moment, feeling the effects of this practice. It's to be believed a really ancient meditation that was practiced by Buddha and Christ because it helps you get in touch with your intuition, and if you're so inclined you could also call it God consciousness. this is wonderful to practice for 40 days in a row, every day for 3 to 11 minutes. And it will really strengthen your intuition. This is something that I particularly recommend if you're trying to conceive a baby. This will help you increase the connection and really call that baby in. And if your baby is already here, it will just benefit so much from you doing this. It will feel your nervous system relax. It will be showering in really positive chemicals, like all the hormones that you're secreting constantly. And if you're doing something like this, like endorphins and feel-good chemicals are released, and your baby's just bathing in it, and really you're helping to create a stable and really balanced nervous system for your baby by doing this. So just give it a try. It's only 3 to 11 minutes every day. Okay, so now maybe just want to do like a last stretch here. Roll out your shoulders again, and then from here you can come into Shavasana. So if you're really early in your pregnancy, first trimester, you might still want to lay on your back if that feels comfortable to you still. Otherwise, I would recommend coming to your side. And maybe placing pillows below your belly, placing pillows below your head, and just, have your knees bent so that you're supported here. And then once you have found a comfortable position here, just deepen your breath. And with every out breath, you release your body more and more. With every out breath, you just feel your body getting heavier and heavier. Heavy in a really good way, in a really relaxed way. Our resting pose, Shavasana, helps us integrate all the movement, all the meditation that we just did, and our body can just take the time and absorb it. And this, once again, is a really important message to your baby also, that you are a person who takes care of herself. You are a person who takes rest seriously, which is a quality that is hugely underrated in our society. So please do take rest seriously. Yeah. And just slow, deep breathing here. Relaxing every fiber of your body. Relax, soft neck and shoulders. Heavy arms. Back and hips are really relaxed. Sinking into your mat. Legs are heavy and relaxed. Feet are really, really soft. Staying here as long as it feels good, as long as you need. You can pause this video here and just really drop very deeply into this resting relaxation. once you're ready to come back, you can gently start to deepen your breath. Imagine that you can inhale into the tips of your finger, into your toes. And then with your next inhale, you actually start moving your fingers, start moving your toes. And then breath by breath, you let this movement become bigger. So maybe you want to stretch. Just do whatever feels comfortable to wake up your body again. And then once you're satisfied with all the stretching from your side, you can gently push yourself up into a seated position, choosing a seat that feels comfortable to you. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart, shoulders relaxed, tall spine, hugging belly in, hugging baby in gently. And then here, just let's rub hands once again. We have so many nerve endings here, and this is signaling our body that we're ready for action again. So then taking your thumbs to your sternum, shoulders relaxed, closing your eyes for a moment. Taking 3 conscious breaths here, keeping eyes closed. And then we are closing our practice today with the mantra Sat Nam, which means truth is my identity. Inhaling Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. You did wonderful, and keep doing this. It will really make a difference for you and your body, your body and your baby. Thank you.